Yeah, well, from my side of things, at least, Australia didn't have proper matches for about 2 years, right? So if you want to go out and outgun people at these moments, then you've got to be really, really, really good. You also got to find that other mode and that other mode of yourselves to see how you can survive this match. The thing that struck me weird, though, is that Germany, I thought they were playing the more attacking side, right? I think they doubled their circle penetrations, but they were also the team that was the least clean with the ball. So the amount of unforced errors that I saw from Germany, I wasn't used to that. And I know that the boys are really fit, and usually they have a great connection with each other, and they might lose the ball in the attack and in the final phases. But in the second half, you have Windfeder, for example, Luki Windfeder, who's playing a good and decent match, and he walks up towards the left, and he just passes it towards the left. The other defender has gone already. It just rolls over the sideline. For me, that was a bit of a weird sign, and I saw about 6 or 7 of those moments. And I think the Germans there made it difficult for themselves to completely get in the flow and to really, get proper attacks out of that. And I don't know if that was the being of Australia just being really good, stick to the plan, playing good press, or it was Germany also lacking something, a little extra percentage today.
Yeah,
Did you
I
get
like
any
your
comments from
comment,
the German
Todd, about.
players? Sorry, go Bish. Go.
Sorry, and so I was just going to say, I like Todd's comment about playing what was in front of them. The analogy that I would use for this match is a bit of a boxing match. I think for me, the first quarter, Germany took the points. I would say we scored first, but Germany came back and dominated the rest of the quarter. The second quarter, I would say we got the points. We had 4 really good chances in the first 6 minutes or so. And then it was a bit of a slugfest for the second half. And I reckon we took everything that Germany threw at us and were able to withstand that. We managed the game very well. We countered well. We controlled well. And that's the result you get. That was the analogy for me, a bit of a boxing match. We took their punches, they took ours. And in the end, it was sort of last man standing stuff.
Yeah, that's a really good analogy, Bish. And when I was watching the two matches, I thought to myself that there was a similarity in a way how they played out. They both started with some good moments for both teams and some goals in the first quarter. They settled down. Then they got a bit cagey in the third quarter. The only difference was that in the final quarter of the Kookaburras Germany game, Australia played in their half for most of it and defended, and then pinched a goal without a goalkeeper at the end. Whereas at 3/4 time of the Belgian game, it was level, and one team was going to step forward and actually take control of the game, and Belgium absolutely did. And so, but again, they also finished with a goal into an empty net. And so there were similarities, but the way in which Belgium finished and taking hold of the game was a lot different than the way Australia were able to win the game. So I found that quite fascinating.
Pasha, if I could give you an example of exactly what you're talking about. If you look at the Dutch game where Australia didn't manage it nearly as well, I can think of half a dozen times where either Blake Govers or Tim Brand or someone was either one out with the defender or 1-on-2, 1-on-3, and they took a decision to take them on.
Yeah.
Whereas today, I could think of 6 to 10 occasions where those guys were in exactly the same situations, recognised the situation, turned round. Brand in particular was outstanding, holding the ball up, just recycling it to somebody else, keeping the play going. That one example is so important because if they lose it in those 6 to 10 occasions, that's the sort of ball that Germany will kill you on, because they will be very efficient. But it's also easier ball because Australia won't just have that one player out of it. They'll have one and then the other 2 or 3 that may be following that play. Australia just took that out of the equation today. Every time those guys did that, they almost were putting a potential fire out. And it really did just show, first of all, it required a technical excellence that I think technically we were as good as I've seen us in a game today. People like Ogilvy and those guys holding the ball in the midfield with strength and skill. But it also showed you where they were at mentally. They weren't just going to try and, storm down the battlements by running into it. There was a much better level of maturity in today's game than there was against the Netherlands.
I think they took that out of the Netherlands match, right? And that's what I mean. What they're doing so well now is with the lack of the matches that you've played, not being able to play the Euros or the Pro League matches. It's these matches that you have to learn and quickly talk with each other and say, okay, how are we going to progress in the next one? And of course, the last thing that you say, that's what everyone, even in the village, is talking about. The basic skills of the Aussies, they are they're insane at this moment. Just the way they can bring it from stick to stick. You mentioned Ogilvy. Yeah, for me, it's always as a lover of the game, it's Daniel Bieldo in the midfield. The way he's the way you can play the ball towards him in press, where he's got two men in his back or not. He's always managing the game. I love the matchup of Beal versus Gambush today. For me, the two pocket players, pivot players that are the most outstanding ones in the world at the moment. But I completely agree with you, and I think they took that from the Netherlands match, and that's insane though. Yeah.